what's going on? Hope you guys are doing good. I'm doing great. Today, I'm going to be going over each UFC weight division, male division, and I'm going to be giving my opinion on who I think should be fighting next for the belt. Yo, starting off with the pound-for-pound rankings, Islam Makhachev. I think his #1 clear-cut contender is John Jones, actually, and, no, I'm just playing. No, for real, though, starting out with Flyweight, bro, the champion is Alejandro Pantoja, and the problem is, he actually doesn't have a real clear-cut #1 contender. You could say it's Brandon Royval, but he lost to him twice, and the last fight was actually lost to him decisively, dominantly. The only thing I could really see you giving him is the winner of Brandon Moreno versus Manel Cap. That's a lot of people want to see Manel Cap versus Pantoja. I do. That's a good fight to make. Fuck, I don't know, man. I like Manel Cap. I actually don't think he ever becomes a champion though. But no, for real, I think that's why everybody wants to see Pantoja go up and fight Merab, because, bro, he has nothing here for him, dog. You give him Royval, I guess, or he's fighting KKF next. He's probably going to be KKF. I think you give him fucking the winner of Moreno, Kate, or you don't give him Royval again, bro. Royval came off a dominant win, but I think he needs at least one more. Yo, and moving on to the Bantamweight division, we got Merab Dvalishvili. He's fighting Sean O'Malley next for the belt. A lot of people were saying that Peter Yan actually should be his #1 contender, should be fighting next for the belt. I don't agree with that. He's fighting Marcus McGee next. That's what we're hearing, at least. I'm pretty sure he's fighting Marcus McGee next. And to be honest, his #1 clear-cut contender is Corey Sandhagen, in my opinion. He beat Figgy way more decisively. And Peter Yan already fought Merab Dvalishvili. Corey Sandhagen has not. And Peter Yan got 50-45, bro. It was bad. Merab shot 60 takedowns on Yan. Yan has PTSD with that shit. Corey Sandhagen is definitely the fight we need after Sean O'Malley. If Sean O'Malley wins, which I'm probably gonna pick, we'll see, then I would love to see Corey Sandhagen versus Umar for a #1, or Corey versus Sean O'Malley, bro, but Corey should be fighting for the belt next. Yo, moving on to the featherweight division, we got Alex Volkanovski. The king is back, bro. The king's back in the fucking throne. I'm not gonna waste your time. He's definitely fighting Movsar Evloev next, so that's fucking out the question. Like I said, I'm not gonna waste your time. I do want to see Arnold Allen versus Brian Ortega. I think you need to make that matchup, or a Lerone Murphy versus Arnold Allen. That's gonna be a predominantly striking matchup. That's a fight that, we'd love to see on a fight night, bro. Those are the fight night main events that we need. We don't need fucking cans. No, but for real, for the #1 clear-cut contender, I think you do Diego Lopez versus Yair Rodriguez. I think you do Colon, bro. That's the fucking fight that we need, bro. Even the fucking interpreter, that shit was gonna get serious, bro. He knew that shit was beef. He knew that shit was hype. Yeah, so I think you do Yair Rodriguez versus Diego Lopez for a clear-cut #1 shot at Volk. I don't actually really want to see Rodriguez against Volk again. It was a dominant matchup last time, but after a Pitbull win, and I think if he beats Diego Lopez, I think it's deserving. Like I said, give me Arnold Allen versus Brian Ortega or Lerone Murphy if they don't want to do that shit or something. That's who I think is deserving. Yo, and moving on to the lightweight division, Islam Makhachev's the champion, obviously, and obviously the clear-cut #1 contender, bro, is Arman Tsarukyan. There's no fucking debate, no question. It's Arman Tsarukyan. I know he's gonna be fighting, well, most likely it's going to be Charles Oliveira or Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria at UFC 317. If it's not Islam, I think it's going to be Charles versus Topuria, and then he comes back in January or February. Islam likes to kind of fight in those earlier months of the year, and I think that's when he'll come back to defend the lightweight strap if JDM wins. Yeah, and after that defense, after this whole shit gets, situated with Topuria, Oliveira, and Islam Makhachev, which I don't understand why Oliveira is in the picture, bro. Tsarukyan, well, I guess because they need Tsarukyan to get another win now, so that just kind of elevates him to #1. Yeah, I think after that whole thing kind of plays out, that's when I think Tsarukyan will re-enter the title picture and, then finally get his fucking shot. Probably either way against Islam Makhachev again. Maybe Topuria blocks Islam out though, and then we get a Tsarukyan versus, they don't want that though. They don't want Tsarukyan versus Ilia. Anyways, bro, like I said, no fucking bullshit. No duh, Arman Tsarukyan is the #1 contender. Clearly, he's gonna need to get another win though. I don't know who they're gonna give him to boost him up though. They gotta give him a Dan Hooker. You can't do Mateusz Gamrot, bro. He already lost to Gamrot, and if he beats him, that's not a good enough win to propel you back into the title picture. Tsarukyan versus Paddy Pimblett, he can definitely derail that hype train and steal his hype, and that would really launch him into that title picture. I guess you do somebody like that. You got to give him a Dan Hooker, because Max Holloway DP's booked up. Oh, you know what? Fuck it, dude. Do Tsarukyan versus Justin Gaethje. He's definitely gonna win that, and because they like Gaethje, but the UFC doesn't really want Gaethje to be champ. They're probably just gonna use Gaethje's name in one of his last fights as a stepping stone for Tsarukyan and get him right back into that title picture. Yo, moving on, at 170 we got Bilal Muhammad, and this is low-key kind of a hard-ish one because there's a lot of moving parts right now. He's gonna be fighting JDM this weekend, and really, I do think the number one clear-cut contender is Sean Brady, coming off a sub win over Leon Edwards, the former champion. That's definitely the best win out of anybody in here. Definitely, you know, better than anything Leon Edwards has done, Kamaru Usman. But I do think by the time that this is all said and done with JDM, bro, I think if Joaquin Buckley can flash KO Kamaru Usman, then I think it propels him directly into this number one spot. If Bilal gets through JDM, which I don't think, you'll see in my predictions video, I predict JDM to beat Bilal. But if Bilal does get the decision, which is not unlikely, then I think he comes back in December to fight. They're probably going to do Rachmanov only because they promised that fight and they both got injured or whatever. So I think they're going to try to stick to their word for Rachmanov. And plus he has that like undefeated kind of aura. But really, the number one deserving guy right now, at least, is Sean Brady. It could be Joaquin Buckley within a couple of months, to be honest, though. I do predict that shit. I think it could be Joaquin Buckley right there on the fucking edge. But yeah, I guess right now the number one real deserving guy is Sean Brady. And moving on to 185, Dricus Du Plessis, the champion. It's kind of like the other ones where like the number one contender is at number one, but it's just not who they're trying to push right now. It's kind of, that seems to be a running pattern now with 150, 155, 170, and 185, because they got Nasruddin Imavov, who definitely is the most deserving, especially coming off a fucking KO win over Izzy, bruh. You're coming off a KO win over one of the middleweight goats. Like, you're definitely the fucking most deserving. Sean Strickland took him to a fucking dominant decision. I don't know, man. But also Nasruddin Imavov has lost to Sean Strickland. He just doesn't have that same like kind of pop. I was talking to a journalist that works for the USC, and I threw the idea out there of what does she think about Caio Barajo versus Nasruddin Imavov for an interim title, and she said that they don't think that they would do that because of the name value of Nasruddin Imavov. He just doesn't have that kind of draw to him, which I agree. I mean, I completely understand. I think it's deserving though. I'm not gonna say I'm a realist, but I do like to kind of see them deserving guys get the fights, even if they're not the most like exciting. Like, I did think Bilal deserved his fucking shot. Like, if you do the work, bro, you should reap the reward. I do think Nasruddin Imavov did that fucking work. Boy, he knocked out Israel Adesanya. This has got to be your clear-cut number one contender after Hamza Chimaev versus Dricus Du Plessis. I think they're gonna probably, if Hamza wins, they're probably gonna run back a DDP rematch. And by that time, Nasruddin has to fight somebody else because he'll be sticking out like way too long. But if DDP wins this, and I think they're going to send Hamza back to the rafters to go fight fucking Caio Barajo probably, and then I think Nasruddin Imavov versus DDP is going to be a good fight. Nasruddin he's got some power, and he's got good striking. He's also a bigger guy. I think people are kind of underestimating him, his size. He's a bigger guy, but he could maybe knock out Dricus Du Plessis, but I'd probably just say Dricus Du Plessis, honestly, by goofy, like sub maybe or something. I don't know. Bro, you never know what to fucking predict with Dricus Du Plessis. This is probably the most unsafe guy to put some money on. Anyways, moving up, we got Magomed Ankalaev at 205, and he's fighting Alex Pereira next for the belt. So I'm not gonna say Alex Pereira is the clear-cut contender. Really, it's kind of the same as like 125. There's just not a clear-cut guy right now. You're not doing Jamal. You're not doing Jan Blachowicz. They both are coming off L's. You do Yuri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg for a number one contender, or Rakic versus Dominic Reyes for number one contender. That's who you do right now. Jamal Hill and Khalil Roundtree are getting booked. That's coming up soon. I still think whoever wins, that's gonna need one more. I think they're gonna need a bounce back off of Yuri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg kind of winner. But yeah, I think either Yuri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg or Alexander Rakic versus Dominic Reyes is gonna be the fight to make to determine number one. Really, they're gonna do Yuri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg because it's 2 and 3, and then Alexander Rakic versus Dominic Reyes. Whoever wins that can maybe fight the winner of that. Maybe it'll be like a kind of a 4-man like stalemate until there's only one left. You really gotta shake it down, see how that shit plays out. I'm rooting for Alex Pereira in the rematch. I actually think he's done enough work, and I'm hopeful that he's done enough work. Bro, I follow my heart too much sometimes in MMA, and I feel like that's a problem because like same thing, I want Sean O'Malley to beat Umar, but I'm fucking scared. Same thing, I want Alex Pereira to win badly, bro, but I'm fucking scared again. I just don't know. But anyways, yeah, bro, I think it's gonna be Yuri Prochazka or Carlos Ulberg. You gotta give him up to one of those two. I know Carlos didn't have the most impressive win over Jan Blachowicz, but it's still a win over Jan Blachowicz. And Yuri coming off that good KO over Jamal Hill. I guess if they want a fresh matchup, just do Ankalaev versus Yuri Prochazka. I guess after the rematch, really, I guess he doesn't have to fight Ulberg. If Ankalaev wins again, I guess you could just kind of push Yuri in there. But then what the fuck do you do with Carlos? You make him fight Pereira? I guess it could go like that. Yeah, you never know. And last up, not least though, John Jones in the heaviest fucking division. I'm not gonna say Tom Aspinall is his like number one contender. I mean, this is definitely the fucking fight to make. There's nobody else who should be fighting for the belt besides Tom Aspinall, bro. Also, can I say, bro, John Jones and Nate Diaz. I saw this get rumored. I'm not sure. Shout out Homo Fight, bro. But I saw this get rumored that John Jones and Nate Diaz are going to be the next coaches on that ALF, that like Russian tough show, that ALF series. I forget what it's called. It's called ALF something, ALF reality or some shit like that. But John Jones versus Nate fucking Diaz, bro. The last coaches were Aljamain Sterling versus Peter Yan. At least one, they had some history. They had a little bit of beef. They were friendly though, and at least they were, at least formerly, same fucking weight class, bro. They were both champions of the same weight class. John Jones versus Nate Diaz, cokehead versus pothead. What are you talking about, brother? Why is that a fucking thing? He's doing anything but fighting Tom Aspinall. John Jones is doing literally anything but fight Tom Aspinall. Fuck this. You need to strip this motherfucker. I like John Jones, bro. I think he's, well, I don't know if like's really the right word, but bro, no, you need to strip this motherfucker. Tom Aspinall is definitely the guy who should be fighting for the belt, but that's not what I'm saying. I think if you're gonna do a clear like number one contender for a guy that's not a fucking interim champion, it's Alexander Volkov. He beat Cyril Gahn. Everybody knows that shit. He got fucking robbed. I think, who did he just get matched up against? We saw Volkov get, like, was it Almeida, bro? Was it Jalton fucking Almeida? I swear to God, I hope not, because I actually think Jalton wins that, and that's doing Alexander Volkov dirty, bro. Volkov should get a reward for that last fucking fight. He got robbed bad. I mean, they stole the money out of his pocket, bro. They stole half his purse. That's some fucked up shit. He clearly won that fight, and it was a rematch, bro. He had shit riding on that. It's fucked up, man. It should be Cyril Gahn versus Jalton Almeida right now, bro. Cyril Gahn should be getting done dirty, because Jalton Almeida would easily sub Cyril Gahn, bro. Easy. Francis Ngannou was getting that motherfucker down, and he's not the best grappler. Cyril Gahn's a predominant kickboxer, good movement, good lateral movement, especially for a heavyweight. Jalton Almeida would sub him in two. Not playing. Plus, I don't think Cyril Gahn has that same kind of like level of hunger that he once had. I think Alexander Volkov, I mean, bro, if he won that last fight, he would have been hungry. I think he would have been on a resurgence, like, really. I think if him and Tom Aspinall fight again right now, I don't think it goes the same way. I don't think Tom subs him that fast. Tom might just knock him out again, or, you know, might just knock him out how he does everybody else. Yeah, I mean, besides that though, I don't really see anybody else who's deserving. Sergey, no. Curtis Blaze, no. Jalton needs to win. Don't do fucking Cyril Gahn. Nobody wants to see this fucking guy, bro. Everybody knows he just lost to Volkov, but you know that they're holding him here probably for a Tom Aspinall fight. But I mean, if Tom beats Jones or whatever the case, you know, Jones beats Tom and then vacates and Tom's some shit like that, then it'll be Cyril Gahn versus Tom for a vacant belt or some shit like that. But they're definitely probably just holding Cyril Gahn for Tom Aspinall. Yo, that's my breakdown and picks though for every weight division's contender who I think should be fighting for the belt next. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know who you guys think should be fighting for the belt next. Let me know how you guys would match make some of these rankings. There's a lot of moving parts in certain divisions. I mean, 125 doesn't have anybody. 135 it could vary. 205 there's some shit that needs to be done. And heavyweight, what the fuck are we waiting for in heavyweight? So, I don't know, man. Let me know how you guys would match this shit up. Let me know what you guys would do differently. Besides that, though, man, I'll see you guys in the next one, bro. Peace.